Good morning, traders. Vindy here with FuturestraderElite. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. See, we're getting pullback here. We're sweeping the current 4-hour candle we're putting in. What I'm really looking for is for them to come on down to the possibly to the overnight low here. I want to see them sweep this 4-hour candle, take it past that pre-market low, maybe tag us overnight low, but actually go even further down than that if they can find the if the bears can push it that hard. Morning, Phipps. Morning, Remon. Morning, Leroy. Already got a few on the room getting ready. That's kind of what I'm looking forward for the downside. What I'm really looking at to the downside is even further than that. Box way down here at the bottom that I have drawn on. I think that's from 450 to 460. Where I have that box. That could be a wishful thinking, a little bit of a stretch for me here, but just scanning over some of the charts, I kind of like that area down there. If they decided they want to be bearish and push this down at the open, if for some reason they start heading that way, I think I'll be willing to put up some risk around that level. The other than that, though, I'm thinking at least we sweep this overnight low. If they don't do it here in the next 7 minutes, 6-7 minutes before the market open, I see them opening the market, tagging this overnight low, maybe sweeping it before they try to push up. That's what seems like. It seems like that's what they would try to do first, but they could open up and just, if they keep grinding this little bounce here up and get it close up here to the 15-minute low, 30-minute low, 640, 650 range, they might open the market, push this up. And if they do that, I might be looking for the 15-minute 50, or maybe they go for the pre-market high, but I think they're going to try to come down first. Don't forget to go and smash that like button on the stream this morning. If you're enjoying the streams, helps other traders find us on YouTube. Now, in the event that they try to sweep this overnight low here, before the market opens, there's a good possibility that they do run it out of as soon as it opens. If they're going to sweep the overnight low here in the next few minutes before the bell. That is one scenario, one possibility. Because even if they do sweep this overnight low or come down there and tackle this overnight low, depending on what they want to do, I'm still going to be interested in these lower levels here at the open of the market. It would make more sense, though, that if they do go ahead and take this overnight low in the next couple minutes for the bell, it does make sense that they would try to push this at the open. Momentum's to the downside over sold. So, they might try to push it Let's see if they get down here and sweep the overnight low. They still have a few minutes here, so. And then if they sweep it down in this 4-hour box, then I don't know. I may set some orders down in this area, depending on what it looks like at 9:30, or maybe a quick grab push, but happen right here first. Hope everybody ended up doing well yesterday. See if we can have us a good day today. Hopefully find some nice trades, lock in some green. I didn't get on and do any trading last night in the evening session. Once we locked down yesterday, I went on and done some tours around here, done a few other things, and then when it by about the time the market opened up, I was wore out, been out in the sun working. I said I'm not even gonna worry about it, not messing with it. Morning, Kim. Got less than a minute here, about 40 seconds. They didn't tag the overnight low just yet, so good possibility they shoot this down. First reaction to the downside before the push. Not necessarily, though. All right, here we go. Got about 5 seconds. Might tag it. I'm going to hang back for a minute here. I don't like how they didn't just push straight through it there with that candle before turning it. I'm going to sit out. Goodness. Any news coming out today? Anybody know about? Almost tagged at 15-minute 50 up. PR's up there pretty good, 40 something. Got about 120 points of range in the 15-minute orb right now so far. Morning, Merlin. Try first reaction pivot play here if they get to it. I don't really want that as much as I do this box down here, but we may get some kind of first reaction. Hands hose, they got that close to the pivot there. Didn't tag me. I'm gonna move my orders down for the time being. I'll get a. They'll come on down and try to snag us area or not. Look like it. Got left at the train station. Anybody catch that drop there? Capitalized on the short, or maybe even got that little bounce there around that pivot. I was too tight to the pivot to catch it. Pivot still protecting here. Still getting the protection from the pivot. Well, that was a pretty nice S2 pivot retest. Bounce. Kind of all over the place. Excuse me. There's nothing on any time frame, like higher time frame or anything, that just screams bullish. Like, hey, maybe we should be going long in this. Now, yeah, the possibility of catching some nice bounces like out of that S2 pivot there, of course, Maybe had I left them there for the retest, I could have snagged me a nice long out of that. But once it gets that close for me, the game plan switches. I wasn't looking for no kind of retest. Everything looks really bearish. So I'm more inclined to want to go long from particular areas, you know. Same thing I would do to my zone down there where my orders are at. If it got really close to that and then bounced really hard before picking them up, I would probably take them off. That can invalidate the trade because it could come back and bust right through. Really, for me to be thinking on the bullish side of things, would have to get all the way back to about 745, 750. Get up there, stay up there, consolidate, stay up above that range. Now there's a lot on the table from here to there. If it was really gonna try to switch bullish, but it'd be hard to. If it's gonna be chopping around and the ATR is gonna be high, could be a little dangerous trying to play it from here to there. I would almost rather sit on my hands and wait for it to get back to that level and show me whether it wanted to reject there or if we was actually going to be on the long side, be bullish, than to even trade the in between. Really, the higher time frame charts are looking pretty bad and bearish. Hard for me to really want to get on the long side very much. If I do, I don't really want to be in it very long. Usually, maybe a scalp or something. They keep pushing it though. Every time they try to push it back, they keep sucking it up. Although we did get up here and tap at 50 EMA on the 1 minute here, so quick little scalp there. A lot of swing moves here. 40, 50, 60 points. Has anybody been taking any trades in this since the market opened, or is everybody kind of waiting on the sidelines for something to set up? I know somebody out there is probably scalped it or capitalized on something. Waiting. I'm trying to be patient. Took a couple scalps. I hope patience pays though. It comes down here and taps his zone down. Nice ash. Scalping in. Paused for the time being, huh? I'd like to see him come down here and tag his zone down here and then get all the way back in the 600s. It does come down here and tag this here and don't bounce hard. There's a good chance that it's going all the way down about 330, 340. Another 100 points down. So possibly see some relief between 390 and 340. Otherwise, 330, 340. Push. Too shabby. How in the world? Right. Well, that inside that was a 4-hour trend line inside that zone there. That 4-hour candle closes in 4 minutes. If it closes down here outside of that, it could be a nasty day today. Good possibility. Appreciate it, Kim. Patience is key. Should have. I wish I'd have got a better bounce than that, but hey, at least I got out in the green, right? We got a nice bounce out of the 4-hour trend line yesterday at market open. At the opening bell. Snagged my orders before candle had never even. It snagged my orders before the candle even got there. I was in the green, and then the candle worked its way down there to where my order was actually at, and took off the other way. Unfortunately, I only took one though. Although that one still snagged me about $400 across 2 accounts. Couple minutes here. You know, if they push this back above 460, at least that'll close that candle inside the trend line. And got to look better on the long side right here. Because if they close on the other side of that trend line, there ain't no telling what might happen. Like I said, 390 to 400, and then about 330 to 340 would be the next stops to possibly have some kind of bounce, maybe. And that 390 to 400 could be iffy. That's based on some structure from some structure that had already been broke on the higher time frame, but it could still work for a bounce area. Right, looks like the bulls might be trying to step in, maybe. Looking pretty good now here. Oh, not so. Oh, not so good. Oh, not so good. Never mind. Nah, they still got a minute, so all that matters is what happens at the end of this minute. If they close above, say, 470, even better. About 30 seconds to go. Nice, very nice candle. They can hold it. Then they can still maybe hit 415. I think if we close up here above this trend line, they might try to take us off. Oh, they're gonna come. Well, push. Like they would make the push now to get back to the top. Since they pushed and closed back inside that trend line, that was important for them to do structure wise. Nice. There we go. Come on, Bulls. Ah, let me move my order. Oh well. Got a little bit. And now if they reject out of here and close below this box, I don't know about that. I think we'll be seeing more than 415. Probably gonna be seeing 300s if they don't push this back. Bad rejection right there. I don't like that. Ooh, what an ugly chart. Where should I be looking? Trade planet. Tricky, tricky. They're either gonna get up in here and reject again and take another leg down, or they could possibly be putting in a W here. But I would have liked to seen them put in uh, a lower low right there. Say something like off of this one right here, at least down in the say there, hit a lower low on the W, and then put in a higher high down here on the momentum right here. If they can come down there and tag that, boom, like they want to put in a W real fast, that could set up into a long situation. Seems like it would be more of a leg back to the downside, but have to be open to both sides of the play on what could be unfolding. And even where this was, if they did a quick down, and I mean it goes through that line, I mean it could be like this or like this, as long as it's a lower low, you know, but then a higher high down here on the momentum. I think it's going downside though myself. It is. I'm going to be looking for this zone down here. What are they going to? I'll sit on the sidelines for now. I think I'll feel pretty comfortable on the sideline. That'd be kind of the line in the sand down here. You know, they would really need to, if they come here, they need to hold and push back to the upside. This level's been holding pretty good on like the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour scenario. I mean, it's been through it, but it keeps pushing back above, trying to stay above. Pull this over where you can see what I'm talking about. We're right here, right now, trading it there. See, tagged it. This is the play we played yesterday at the Open right here. Tagged this trend line, went straight up. That was that move at the New York Open. And then if you come back and look across here, you know, at this level right here, it broke. As soon as it opened, it pushed back above, and every time it sucks up and pushes, you know, up and out of this area. So there's a whole lot going on here. Not that it won't break this, but they really need to hold this. And if they don't, then you know we have this level down here 270 to 280 or whatever, which kind of catches a little bit of this lower down here when some of these close and open and pushed. So that'd kind of be the range, but I'd be looking at this to be the line in the sand. They should bounce out of there. What I'd like to see is a fast candle, just bam, drop it down there and push it back up. Momentum's oversold pretty heavy. I mean, it could be a little heavier. It would be heavier by the time it gets here on the 1 minute, 2 minute, and the 5 minute as well. Check the 15 minute. 15 minute. By the time it gets down in here, we'll be pretty good in the oversold area. 30 minute, same ordeal. A 1 hour, same ordeal. 2 hours there. 4 hours almost there. So all them almost practically being to the oversold territory even on the higher time frames. Has me willing to put up a little risk there. Why? I feel like it should be the line in the sand. Although they can keep it cooked in the oversold territory for a little while, and keep draining it off if that's what they want to do. Maybe we don't get the immediate reaction like we did the other day. Like yesterday at the New York Open, it just tapped it and bam, took off. Now maybe they try to sweep it instead. They're kind of slow grinding. The ATR is kind of high, but it seems like it's slow grinding down to here instead of getting there quickly. The faster it gets there, the better it is for us or the long. A fast reaction down and a bounce. When they go slow like this, they could get down here and then put the death candle in. Say they get close here and then they put the death candle in, it shows up down here somewhere. That's why I went ahead and took my order. A little too close for comfort for me, for them to decide how they want to have a fast candle, and it just ends up down here around 300. So I'm going to wait this time instead of do first reaction. I'll see how they react. Then and it's oversold pretty heavy. All right, Kim. Have a great rest of your day. See you on the next one. It was nice to see you today. One here. Start my position small. See, they're not getting a very hard reaction out of here. Not the type of reaction we got the other day. Might just be lucky to get some nice scalps out of here, maybe. If they do anything here. So I'm gonna sell. I'll put my order up here around 360, close to about 20 points. Instead of trying to reach for the stars on anything, maybe try and test 300 here. Push. Section just safe down here. Push. Come on, bulls. Yeah, couldn't quite do it. Luckily got out of that though. So there might still be. That's not the reaction we was looking for, so we might as well expect there to be some more downside in this. The bulls did not step in that area. It's not yet. Like they was going to, it would have acted a little harder than about 10:17 market time. Brings us back down to this level here. You know, said this is kind of line in the sand, but then this one's close. So you have 270, 280 down here. If it's not if it ain't promising, then I don't even know what to think about the rest of the day, to be honest. Yes, we have some 15-minute imbalance down around 98 to 158, 15-minute chart. If they break below this zone, maybe they want to take it all the way down there. Who knows? Not going to look good though on the higher time frame if they keep dragging this to the downside. Although we say that, we've spent the last couple weeks in huge swings in the market. You know, been down in the 29,000s, maybe even the 28s. I can't remember. It's been some big moves day after day, swinging back and forth every week. So have to just take it for what it is. You know, try to trade safe, trade smart. I'm gonna lock out of the ones I've been in. Got some decent base hits in there, so I'm gonna rotate out. So hard for me to try to get long on anything. You know, I kind of feel like maybe they're going to try to take it back to around 425, 430. You know, but then they'd have to get through this trend line and all this downward move. I don't know if I can see it. A crazy day, yeah. Seems like they're all crazy. Yeah, are still around 30. I'd say that if you are fortunate enough to have locked in some green so far since the market's been open, to maybe just walk away maybe, or be very patient. Don't get in over trading, chase any, you know that there's no reason to be bullish. There's no reason to try to counter trend trade right now. I'm not saying it ain't gonna go up 400 or 500 points sometime today, but looking at the chart that are in front of us, to assume that something like that was going to happen be kind of insane, because there's nothing that screams, "Oh yeah, we're going to go up." That's where we're going. Everything is definitely saying down, and if anything, you should be patient enough to wait for the bounce and short the bounce, not buy the dip right along it. I mean, you can and scalp it. Don't get me wrong. You're good like that. You got tight risk management, by all means. But the safe play here is be patient. If it's a bad entry for a short, wait till they bounce back to the 21 EMA, the trend line. You know, there might be a time or two up in this mix where they might try to get it back to the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, and it still be short. Wait for those opportunities and capitalize on that. Can't be patient enough to wait for such a setup, then get in a sim account and do some reps. Don't put your capital in the market for no. Yeah, that's a long ways away, Phipps. Good to know. I don't keep up with that though myself. If I do deal with anything to do with point of control, I'm only paying attention to on the session that I'm currently trading, such as where it is today on a particular time frame. Anything past that, I use structure instead of something like that. See how they defend this little zone right here. Not looking that promising, but depending on how they defend it, could if they don't defend it, you might as well think we're getting in the 29 even, 29K, possibly lower than that, maybe. I could see it somewhere along the way, maybe get decent bounce, maybe getting traveling 200 or 300 points, possibly, maybe. No, but I would be watching that tight because we are bear. The overall trend is bearish, even the high time frames. So, I mean, to think uh, to think we're going to travel too far at this point, for me, I'm going to have to see them start break levels on higher time frames, starting with the 15 minute. Now, I'm going to have to see them take structure out. I'm going to have to see them hold it before I'm going to believe that we're going to make anything drastic. You know, I think it would be a, I think it would be a, a slim possibility that it got back up here to the 15-minute 50 anytime soon, which is 658, which is a good haul from where we're at. 400 points. I think that would be quite a bit of stretch, though. They got a lot of structure to break to get there, and if it ain't going to be news or a tweet or something crazy, there's the sellers are just way too far in control of whatever's happening right now. We'll see though. Never know. It's early in the day too, so we all know how NQ can be. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. As soon as I think it might only move 2, 3, 400 points back up, it might move 1,000 for all I know. I've seen crazy stuff happen like kind of like, whoa, where'd all these bulls come from? Kind of like how they're building out of this little zone here. See how well it holds up though. Could be nothing though. Could be something, could be nothing. Once they start building out of a zone like this, what's going to be key is, are they going to take structure out when they start building? If they get to structure and they start having a hard time breaking and then break back down, then that's all she wrote. Appreciate that, Remont. You will. You'll be able to look at them and do that. Probably even better than me, hopefully. I don't even know that I'm that good at reading them or explaining it. I appreciate you saying that. I just talk about what I see, and then it just comes with the reps. Got to put in the time. It's all about time, really, and it's a lot of it. People act like it is easy. We always talk about trading's like the hardest thing you're ever going to do mentally, and It really is, in my opinion, and takes a lot of time. Been looking at charts for a long time. You'll get there. You'll definitely get there. I know you can do it. Anybody can do it if they're willing. Don't give up and try. Like if they want it that bad, you want it that bad, you'll get there. I think a lot of people give up probably too soon because it's tough. Uh, really got to take some hits, ups and downs. But you can never lose as long as you never quit. You know, all you can do is try to be better than yourself the prior day. Not about competing out here with nobody else or trying to be better than somebody else. The only person you're trying to compete with and be better than is yourself yesterday. Every day is a work in progress for each and every one of us as traders. And it don't really matter how long we've been trading. I'm a work in progress every single day. I guess, whereas all no two traders are ever the same though, no matter how much time we put in, uh, not everybody's going to look at things the same way on charts. Just as a prime example is like, I don't think it was last Friday. No, we didn't trade last Friday. It was a Friday before, I think. I don't know if anybody remembers, but I took a trade that I had on my chart on there before the market opened. We had a box draw. It took 2.5 hours for price to get there. That box was from a 15-minute setup that I drew on there, waiting to see if it was going to hit that day. And we had somebody else in the stream that said that the 15-minute chart didn't understand why I took the trade because the 15-minute chart was super bullish. Well, I didn't see the chart super bullish like they did. Uh, it was bullish, don't get me wrong, but it was also coming into a very, very high level of resistance at that box. I mean, it was a lot. And if you was on then, I actually pulled the trading view chart in. I went over why I was looking at it the way I was looking at it versus not looking at it the way they was looking at it. And it's just the difference in the scope of where we think, you know, I understood what they was looking at, but I didn't understand. I understood why they was looking at it, but for me as a trader, I couldn't look at that level without it breaking the level that I had planned on shorting. So it was as simple as that. I can't look at a higher level until they actually prove to break, just like we're talking about what the market's doing right now. Yeah, can it go up 600, 700, 800,000 points? Absolutely. I'm not going to say it can't, but I'm telling you, it's not going to right now. There is no reason to think it's ever going to do that today because there's nothing telling us to even think that way. They can't break any levels. They have to break some big levels now to even get very high. We're so far down. The overall market's bearish. There's no reason to be thinking about doing anything other than shorting pops. Even if they put in a green candle right now on the 1 minute chart that goes to say 385 to 400 on one candle, I would short that. That's manipulation the other way. Just like you see it when it's bullish and they throw them candles down. Same instance. There'd be no reason to think it was bullish all of a sudden. What it is a trap, setting people up to fail. Yeah, like Phip said, you'll never stop learning industry unless you quit. That's 100%. And if you can't wrap your head around believing that, then you probably shouldn't trade. Actually, that's about as true as it gets, for sure. Have to always be open-minded, willing to learn, willing to adapt, willing to change. I mean, K-Cat was in the Discord earlier. She hadn't been in the, or I mean, she was in the chat earlier here on the stream. She hadn't been in a long time. She left. She said, "You don't ever do that great on red days," and so she was leaving. She wasn't even going to sit through it. That's discipline at its finest right there. If you already know that you don't do well on red days, what's even the point? In hanging out and sticking around if you already know that. That is strict discipline. That's not someone saying, "Oh, they're going to hope and well, maybe I can get this trade or maybe I should try to force that," because that's what's going to happen on a day like today if you don't use discipline. I'm just trying to do my part, Remon. As I always say, if I even help just one trader every day, maybe see something better or different, or maybe they lock something in, as long as I'm helping one trader, I'm happy. I know I can't help everybody. Maybe what I do ain't for everybody, but all that matters is that somebody's finding some kind of value in it. This old 15-minute imbalance we got down. Finally working our way down here, we can see it. I appreciate it, Phipps. How low can we go? How low can Now, the one thing we do know, no matter what's going on, we do know they're going to find, if they keep dropping, they're going to find a big line in the sand of buyers somewhere along the way. It's kind of surprising that we hadn't found that yet, but we do know that that's going to happen. Well, I shouldn't say we know it's going to. You would think it would happen though, but maybe not. 4 hour zone. Well, outright 4 hour. I mean that 15-minute balance. And so we got a 4 hour zone, we got 15-minute imbalance, and then we got a S3 pivot. That's a pretty good confluence, but that's a big range. That's about 87 to 170, not quite 100, or yeah, over. No, just under 100. Pretty big range there, but let me look and see what we're keep messing. Crazy. Say they get through all that there. Get through all that there. There's a about 873, 73 to 883. I don't know. But they'd have to get through all this here first. Nice job on passing that 250, Ash. That's a big one. Big account. Bill orders are 15 on a 15-minute, or almost 400. Wow. Lot. Like, I don't really know what to do myself. I don't even want to trade, really, because we're not. I mean, I could be scalping to the downside, I guess, but I want to mess with that. Harlan posted in the P&L Discord, locking in almost $1,200 across 4 accounts on a day like today. That's been nice, slow, and steady. Good job, Merlin, locking in the gains. Excellent work. Excuse me. Gonna hang off to the side here. I could see them possibly if they don't just sweep the 50-minute. I mean the 50 EMA on the 1 minute right here. Into this zone and maybe reject for another leg down. I could possibly see a push to 400 right here if they get above it. Get above 340 here or something. Try to build. I could see a push into 400, but I don't know if they got what it takes to get there. Going on swing. Sorry, I was a little quiet there. Self muted, and while I was waiting for the market to do something, I had to put in some reps. I'm doing some push ups and some dumbbell work. Might be some people on here. I got a platform treadmill at my desk so that I can walk while I trade when I want to. And so I also keep the dumbbells over at the desk so that I can work out some dumbbell workouts and then throw in some push ups. Keep my mind sharp and stay active at the same time instead of sitting all the time. Keep that blood flowing. Oh no, Reba, not all day. Hmm. I hadn't been getting in as much walking here lately, but I try to put in anywhere from 3 to 6 miles a day on the treadmill. And then I try to do some workouts while I'm trading, especially if it's slow, ain't nothing to do. I could just wait, and then work out whenever we get off the stream, but it helps me stay focused, but not all day. Not all day. Yeah, it's having a whole struggle there, Phipps. Pretty sure, for sure. But who knows? It might try to do some kind of rip. I do 3 sets of 40. And I try to do that usually about 4 or 5 times a day. As you're supposed to put the results in the P&L in Discord so everybody can see them. That way it can encourage others. Nice job, Pips. I'm only locked in on 3 so far. It's all I've traded. I probably should have been trading that whole drop, shorting it, sat through it instead. I might have just around maybe 700 something, 800 across 3. Might this be the beginning of the slow grind for them to try to take it back to the upside, maybe? Dang, Ash, posting the P&L, locking in some big old gains. Make that 20K and that 250 today. Was you full porting? Nice job, Ash. What was you scalping with to get that 20K? 20 micros? I mean, minis? Well, I figured minis, but how many minis scalping at one time? Nice. Good job, Ash. Sure didn't look like they was trying to put that W in there to move us on back to the upside. You know, I don't like how that just rejected, but if they could have kept pushing this, take out this high right here, 357, 358 area. That right there is a perfect setup divergence on that W for a leg up here. But they might not have what it takes, so let it be what it is. Kind of canceled it for me with this red candle. They shouldn't have done that. If they brought it down, they should have sucked that right back up and pushed it. Now instead of it looking like a W, it's going to look like a W or whatever you want to call it. Not going to be a regular W. A WU, a woo, be a woo. Now look at them. Full port. Just joking. Nothing wrong with that, Leroy. Completely understandable. Like it's more chopped than anything right now, anyway. Don't want to get caught up in mess. Seems to be wanting to stay above 270. Nothing wrong with that swing. I hadn't taken many today, other than that little bit of scalping I did just a minute ago. I mainly traded early in the session, copy trading 3 accounts. I didn't even do much else with the drop. Probably should have shorted the whole drop, but I got off into some rant and was talking more than trading. So. Then I forgot to get my chicken out of the deep freezer. I just went and got that out of the deep freezer so I can unthaw some chicken for lunch. Probably won't be installed for lunch. I'll just have to eat lunch late, I guess. Can't believe I forgot to do that. Try to get that protein intake. Hard trying to get that much protein in a day. Anybody that's ever tried to do it. Trying to get anywhere between 150 and 190. 150 to 190 grams of protein. All right. All right. I'm done. I better quit playing around. Blue eval. Luckily, it was only a $10 eval. Coming up on 12 o'clock market time. Coming up here on the whole hour. I think I'm going to call it a day right here. Go on and have me some lunch. Maybe I'll come back in power hour. Probably going to try to do the Asia or Tokyo stream tonight. Not sure which one, but I'm going to try to do one of those tonight. And so appreciate everybody who showed up and showed out with us today. And hope to see you maybe on the evening session if you want to join there. If not, I'll see you back on the New York session tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Stay safe, stay green out there. I'll see everybody tomorrow.